Convoy to Olympia, Washington, March 5th. show, man. Get off my... Servants to the people. Lawbreakers. No help.
Many people have tried to divide us or make me disavow him because of what he does. And it doesn't make sense, because this is all about unity. This is all about freedom. This is all about love. And this is all about God. Next up, I'd like to welcome my close friend, Joey Gibson.
How's everybody doing today? I did see that people were asking why we're out here, because Inslee's going to drop the mask mandate and other things. Oh, thank you, Inslee. We appreciate the permission, okay? But you got to remind these people, he dropped it last year too, did he not? I want to remind you, this is the same man who decided to ban worship singing outside while the strip clubs were open. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever forget that. Yesterday I was listening to Joe Rogan. Oh, what about Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan finally came out of the closet, guys. He's been holding back, and then he set himself up for this, and now all he's doing is interviewing people, and they want to burn him down. It's crazy. But he's interviewing Dakota Meyer. He's a combat veteran, okay? I was listening to him speak for a little bit, and he was talking about he lost a lot of his friends in Afghanistan, and he came back to America, and he was really depressed. Like a lot of our veterans, he was suicidal. One of the things that he was doing is he was blaming the world. He was being a victim, and he surrounded himself around other people who would treat him like a victim. Until one day he was driving home from a bar. He had had enough, and he pulled out his gun, pulled the trigger, but it just went click, okay? It didn't fire for whatever reason. And from that moment on, he thought about all his brothers that died in Afghanistan, and he felt ashamed and he felt embarrassed, because in a way he represented them. And he has a life to live here in America for his brothers who gave it all over in Afghanistan. And he decided from that moment on that he will no longer be a victim. He will take his own life into his own hands and live life to the utmost fulfilled way that you possibly can. Can I get an amen? And that's the problem that we have. We want to blame so many different things, okay? I'm here to tell you the problem is not Inslee, okay? In fact, Inslee is deteriorating really bad. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, okay? If you see the health of a lot of these people at the top, we think that they're the problem. You're giving them way too much credit. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but these people are absolutely pathetic and they can barely even put a sentence together. You don't need to fear them. These people that are deteriorating physically, it's showing what's happening on the inside because they've been selling out. They've been selling their soul out. They've been selling you guys out for whatever it may be, for money or whatever. And I swear it is manifesting on the outside. You guys know what I'm saying? Don't give them credit. They're not the problem. They're nothing but a side effect. The problem, okay, the problem is us as individuals, okay? These people are afraid of us. Okay? They're not afraid of who you are right now or who we are right now. They're afraid of who we can become. Do you understand that? That's why they want to censor you. That's why they want to shut you up, because they don't want a massive awakening in this country. Is that right? Because the truth is, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. They want to put all of you in chains. They don't care. Evil doesn't see color. Doesn't care if you're black, white, straight, gay, doesn't matter who you are. Evil wants to oppress each and every single one of you. And when we learn that, when we have that mass awakening, these people have nothing on us. They have nothing. One of the biggest problems we have in this country is that we're putting our faith in all the wrong things. We put our faith in a million different things, okay? And it causes your faith to be fragile, okay? We put our faith in things that you can't take with you when you move on to the next life, okay? We put our faith in money, we put our faith into what people think about you, we worry about people slandering our names, okay? We do this, and that's when we're unwilling to sacrifice. We're unwilling to do what it takes to get this country back, okay? That's why the spirit of liberty or death isn't so strong right now. You have people that are willing to give away all their rights because of a virus. That's not liberty or death, right? You guys hear me? When you get to a point where you're willing, you just let go of all your fears. You will be afraid, but you walk straight into it. And you're willing to die for this country. You're willing to die, actually I should say this, you're willing to die for what is right. You are free. You are no longer a slave to this world. That is the key. That is the key. We got to get peace in our hearts, okay? Get peace in our hearts. Jesus said a lot of good things, but one thing that I admire more than anything, Jesus said this to the people. He said, I have the gift of peace, real peace. Not the fragile peace that the world has to offer, but perfect peace. So do not yield to fear, ladies and gentlemen. Do not allow your hearts to be troubled, but instead be courageous. I want you to think about that. Jesus was connecting having peace in your heart with courage, okay? When you have peace in your heart, think about that. If you are putting if you're trying to find peace with worldly things, okay, the world owns you. If you find your peace by getting money, for example, right, that means you're for sale, right? If that's what you need for your peace. But if you're willing to find peace in something bigger than yourself, right, our Creator, something above you, this world cannot hold you back from doing what you believe to be right. Do you understand that? Fear is the tool of tyrants. Do not give it to them. Do not fear these people. Stare them down. Stare them down and say this is the most powerful thing. Say no. Just say no. We're not going to comply. Just simply and peacefully say no. Here's the solution. Here's what I'm talking about, okay? Here's what I'm talking about in this country. Here's the solution. Ladies and gentlemen, be bold. Be bold. Be strong. Take risks. Take risks. Go out there. If you believe in something, if you truly believe in it, okay? No more excuses. Go out there and fight for it and deal with the consequences. Amen? This is what makes me think about civil disobedience. This is what I love about civil disobedience. You know what's awesome about civil disobedience? Is it separates the talkers from the walkers. You can talk about it all you want, but who's willing to go out there and to take an action and be risking arrest? Be risking lawsuits, be risking a fee from L&I or whatever it may be. We need civil disobedience at a massive scale, okay? And the cool thing about civil disobedience, when you first start doing it, you don't need big numbers, you simply just need to say no. Great example is James Coates up in Canada. You guys know who that is? He refused to close his church. We have a lot of preachers that said that the government shouldn't shut down our churches. We have a lot of preachers say that, but a lot of them didn't stand up and keep their churches open like they should have. James Coates kept his church open, and they arrested him. They put him in solitary confinement, and they said they will let him out if he signs an agreement saying that he will no longer preach anymore. He refused to do it. He refused to do it. Amen to that, right? See, that's what really inspires people. It's not the talking, it's the action. In Moscow, Idaho, we had those 2 people that were arrested for worshiping out in the open, right? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Okay? Now, the response to that could have been just don't go back, okay? You know, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to scare you. 2 days later, the church came back with like 4 times the amount of people. The cops didn't even show up, right? Civil disobedience. It's walking the talk, right? Amen? We got Skyview High School. Melanie's here. She can talk about that. She refused to put a mask on. Listen to this. She was getting so much support. We were protesting out front of the high school. A judge, they actually got a judge to say no free speech activities within 2 miles of the high school. Completely unconstitutional. Guess what we did? We went right back the next day, protest. Police didn't do a damn thing. Because you stand tall. It's an action. It's not talk, it's an action. And all it would take is one person to defy that judge. You defy that judge, you say, do something about it. Do something about it. This is my point though. I'm gonna finish up with this, okay? The sit-ins, the civil rights movement, the sit-ins, I've always looked into that. It's always been so amazing to me. But one of the things, you know, and I was watching some documentaries on it today again, and I used to always watch them take those beatings. It's absolutely amazing. These people believed in something so much in freedom that they're willing to take those beatings. Sometimes they were unconscious on the floor, on the ground. Okay, imagine that, your buddy, right, just taking beatings. But it started with 4 people. 4 men just decided they've had enough and they're just gonna go, they're gonna sit down and ask for coffee. And they said no. And then they went back the next day with more people, then it blew up. Then the violence started to happen, but they never fought back. And they kept going in there and they kept taking the beatings. And it worked, guys, it inspired people. It motivated the entire world. But this, my point, is that they walk the talk, right? And so, this is what I'm trying to tell you out of this speech, okay? Walk the talk. Do something in your own community, whatever it may be. Just get out there, you can do it. Do not underestimate yourselves, okay? Down in Clark County, we had some guys in Washougal High School who just decided to stop wearing masks, okay? And when I talked to him, he really underestimated himself. He's like, I don't think it's gonna really do anything at a state level. But then you start to see all the schools do it, right? Down in Clark County, almost all the schools. You were down there, you came down there and saw all of them. And then we even had a middle school, Amboy Middle School, out in the middle of nowhere, right? You got some of them here? These kids were out there marching all day long for 6 hours a day with their flags, just refusing to put the mask on.
After all, not mainland United States, because there would be a rifle behind every blade of grass. This is what a Japanese general said in World War II. Ukraine learned this quickly. Within days or so, Russia made Ukraine residents of citizens. Since that day, Russian troops have been fighting on battle mode expected. The math adds up. When you arm your citizens, there is no place for tyranny in the United States. Come election season, we need to kick these bums out. And for those of you who are not of voting age, I beg you,
Ferguson is amazing. And so I just want to introduce my very good friend, Mr. Tim Ivan.
How y'all doing? Damn right I got t-shirts.
That's right.
Ever since running for governor, I don't wear them anymore. I just have my friends here take care of them. Hey, thanks everybody for coming out. I really appreciate it. It's really amazing. I've been doing initiatives for 22 years. I remember 1 year before the trial, we ended up going and we had forced mediation. And he said to the mediators, said to the lawyers, we don't care about the money. We want him to sign on the dotted line to give up his First Amendment rights. That's all we care about. My lawyer, Richard Sanders, one of the best state Supreme Court justices our state has ever heard, good man, lawyer. It's my attorney, and he said, Tim, that sounds like blackmail to me. And that's exactly what it was. We said no to that. And for the next year, we've gone on from there. One of the advantages you have when you get stripped down to the studs the way I have is...
I am Dr. Elizabeth Price, I'm running